I don't know. It's like it's almost like somebody clicked stop in multi-streamer. Like,
That's weird.
I will never upload a GIF into the Discord chat again. I promise.
I don't think it's that. I think it's I don't know. That was weird. Because usually if it's like a crash, multi-streamer will still like say we're live even if we're not. This was like no,
That's
you're not.
weird.
Multi-streamer was like you're not streaming. So I was like, oh whoa. Thanks. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, we are back online as far as I can tell.
Wonderful.
All right. So, here's some trivia for this game. The first level of this game's story mode, Siberia, seems to be a reference to GoldenEye 007. The first level of both games are Dames in Russia and includes similar sounding alarms. Oh, and by the way, this is our fan request. Alright, so who's got some answers for me? Let's see, we've got David with Time Splitters.
My man.
And Jesse with Time Splitters 2. This is the original Time Splitters.
Don't.
So David gets the point.
Yeah, but okay.
Do you not want
No, I was
the
just
point?
checking up because the trivia might have been misleading because I seem to remember Siberia being the first level of Time Splitters 2.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
what I read.
Oh, son of a bitch. I looked up trivia for the wrong game. This
Wow.
is... Okay, so you know what, Jesse, you get the point too, because that is my...
I guess he gets a point too.
Yeah, wow, that was a very Johnny move to pull just then.
You know, I have never felt more like a host than I do at this exact moment. Damn it, John. Well, cool. Time Splitters. Maybe you've heard of it?
I have heard of it. I've never played it, to be honest. This is I forgot to mention. This is, oh my god, we're so bad. We're so fucking bad without John here. This is our fan request courtesy of Emily on Facebook.
We're doing all right. You're a little, leaving a little left to be desired, but
Story of my life.
Jesse's fucking killing it,
Am I?
So, Jesse, did you play Time Splitters or Time Splitters 2?
No. Is it a PlayStation 2 game?
It is.
This was multi-platform. It was PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. So I obviously played the GameCube version.
Yeah. Okay. Huh. I mean, I remember seeing it and hearing positive things about it, but I just never picked it up, I guess.
No, the game was actually really fucking fun. It was a first person shooter, and it was made by a lot of the like Rare GoldenEye people and Perfect Dark. And the whole story of the game is there's, I believe it was aliens, and they got these magical crystals that let you travel through time, and they were trying to either hide them or collect them from various places. So you're trying to hunt them down and get these crystals back. So you travel throughout time to do it. So all of the levels are, one level is in Siberia during the Cold War. There's a level in Chicago in the 1930s where you're fighting gangsters. There's one in like an actual Aztec temple. There's one in a city in the year like 2534 or whatever. So like you travel throughout time doing first person shooter missions. And the thing that I liked the most about it was you collected all of your weapons throughout time. So you would actually get a Tommy gun, or you would get a crossbow, or you would get some weird plasma future rifle. Like, it was really fucking fun.
That sounds really neat.
Now, David, you said that one level takes place in an actual Aztec temple. Are you telling me that the console manages to like warp you through time and into an actual Aztec temple? That is goddamn impressive. I knew that the PS2 had that emotion engine, but I didn't know it was capable of time travel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, everybody gave shit on the GameCube for those tiny little discs, but you could pack some amazing stuff on those discs. It was VR technology that would change your living room into an actual Aztec temple. It was insane.
That, like I said, there's the key phrase I'm holding on to here is actual. Like, I just imagine your living room turns into a temple, and you've traveled back in time, and people are there to kill you because
Yeah, yeah. I was just about to say the best part is when the Aztecs attempt to sacrifice you, or since you look extremely different than them, wearing weird clothes, you're holding electronics. They might even think that you're some kind of either a god or demon or something. So you could possibly, if you play your cards right, be able to control this tribe of Aztecs and whatnot. Or they're just savagely kill you, and that's hard mode. This Time Splitters was a really hard game.
Okay, I have to go back and clarify after checking. You do go to, the level is Aztec ruins in Guatemala, so you are actually exploring an actual Aztec temple, but it's not during the 1400s. It's in 1920, so you're basically young Indiana Jones, but with firearms.
So it's just snakes and Nazis.
Wait,
Basically, yeah.
Indiana Jones had guns. He shot that one dude.
Okay, Indiana Jones had a gun, but he didn't have like a plasma rifle from Neo Tokyo.
Didn't he?
He should have.
He had a refrigerator.
Yes, he did. See, now I'm just wishing that one of the weapons you can get in any first-person shooter is a refrigerator that you just throw at people.
Or they just hide in.
Yeah, I like that better. There's
So
a refrigerator in Earthworm Jim. We could just talk about famous video game refrigerators the rest of the show.
So basically, you just want the Metal Gear Solid cardboard box, but it's a refrigerator instead.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Well, a refrigerator, you can survive an atomic blast. Mm-hmm. So, I mean...
That's my favorite phrase is nuke the fridge. It's the movie equivalent of jumping the shark. It was created specifically by that movie.
We'll see. And, okay, we shouldn't go on this tangent, but I'm about to. I have no problems with that scene. And the reason why is because fridges at those times had lead lining, so there's a logic to it. But also, are we really going to debate logic in the same movie series where they parachute out of a plane with a giant inflatable raft and a man has his heart removed from his chest, just ripped straight out?
Oh, no, I got no problems with the refrigerator. I think it's funny. I mean... Like, I don't nitpick that movie for, it's not scientifically accurate. No, it's fucking Indiana Jones. I mean, what do you want? I mean, he's going after this alien skull thing. Come on, guys. Shia LaBeouf is actually in a movie. So, I mean, obviously there's, weird things going on. And they're even making fucking Indiana Jones 5. So that's pretty spectacular too. Yes, they are, David. Indiana
Oh.
Jones 5 is coming to you, your theater.
No.
Is it gonna have Harrison Ford in it, or like did they just
I'm
finally get rid of
pretty
him?
sure
Probably.
Steven Spielberg is, all his idea. So everyone does what King Steve says. I'm still waiting for ET 2.
Man.
But yeah, Time Splitters was fucking dope, and the multiplayer was really good. Again, because you had such a vast, bizarre arsenal, and it made it a ton of fun. I wish you guys had played it. I know John and I played it some, and we could share memories, but alas.
Oh, the podcast has been torn asunder.
All right. Well, on that a very uplifting note,
Game 2.
Jesus Christ. Whoop, that's my bad. Okay. So, this game is my game, and I forgot to look up trivia. So I'll just give you a major hint instead, which is that
I'll just tell you what it is.
this game is from one of my favorite movie series of all time.
What?
Okay. Let's see some answers. We've got David with Back to the Future 2 and 3, and Jesse with Back to the Future, which I'll call close enough. This is Back to the Future 2 and 3 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. have you
What
guys?
were the songs? Because I was trying to place them in Back to the Future.
Let's see. The first track was 1985. The second track was 1885. And the third track was like just the main theme, which I think contains a little bit of the Power of Love, or not the Power of Love. Got to go
Okay.
back in time. In it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Got to go back in time.
Do, 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 do. Yeah, there it is. There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. That's my impression of Huey Lewis in the news. So yeah, have you guys?
See, if I was going to do a Huey Lewis impersonation, I think I would have gone with maybe singing. But that's cool.
I would've
Is he
gone
the one
with,
that's going deaf?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is he still
I
alive?
feel like I read something about him. He's like going deaf and like he can't sing anymore, and
Aw.
like it's really heartbreaking.
God, where's having a real episode of like downer moments? Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. Just pull up a news article. Cancels 2018 show due to hearing loss.
If
No,
my
That's
really
really depressing.
My impersonation
but you
of-
know what's not depressing? Back to the Future.
well, you know how I impersonate Huey Lewis in the news is I just go file lawsuits against Universal to get my songs put into movies. That's what I like to do when I want to impersonate him.
No, see, the whole point is he wasn't trying to get his song in a movie. He was trying to get it out of the movie.
Oh,
that
that-
was what the lawsuit was about.
That really
He wasn't
backfired
suing
on him.
Get the job to write the music for Back to the Future.
But yeah, so he got. I mean, I don't know that he got. He got songs in Back to the Future. He got to have that little cameo in Back to the Future. So, anyways, have you guys tried playing this game, Back to the Future Parts 2 and 3?
I've only actually played Back to the Future 1 on NES, and it was so bad that when I saw 2 and 3, it's like, God, I'm not even going to touch this.
This is not as bad. It's still really bad. Like it's kind of like the Goonies 2 in that it's probably a good game, but it's also really inscrutable and you're not really sure what you're supposed to do the whole time. Basically, you travel around in time collecting things. That's basically it. And it gets
Yeah, the only thing I've seen from it is from Angry Video Game Nerd.
and,
Although it seems like it would be a good... Since they combine the 2 into 1, it seems like it'd be easier to make this fun because you have both the future and the Old West.
yeah, but
You think?
like, I mean, here's the thing: is that for years and years and years, Back to the Future 2 used to be like my favorite movie of all time. And when I try to rewatch them nowadays, like I find myself liking 2 and 3 less and less and less. And I think that it just doesn't translate well into a game because the source wasn't actually that great to begin with. Not like 1 was. 1 should have been a pretty good game because 1 is a great movie. And they had a lot of cool.
Because that always adds up. Great movie, great game.
True. Yeah. Yeah. I
Just say,
guess,
let's talk about great movies always making great games on the NES and bring up Ghostbusters, shall we?
yeah. Yeah. Ghostbusters, and even going outside the NES, E.T., the greatest game of all time.
Clearly.
The Video Game Awards was created for E.T. So, yeah, actually, I'm kind of running out of things to say about this game, to be totally honest. It's just really bad.
So, side-scrolling platformer, just
Yes.
like racing game. Is it a shooter for some reason? Like,
Oh, man, that'd be good.
I mean, like give Marty like a little future gun to like zap bullies with.
Just like in the movie.
Don't you fight like weird like space potatoes and stuff?
I don't remember. This game was like, I fired it up for a few minutes earlier today. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? What am I supposed to do in this game? I could not figure it out. It's weird. I think you start the game in 1985A. Like, I'm not sure if you even start in the future, to be totally honest. I think you'd spend your time going around between 85 alternate and 55 and the Old West.
Is Einstein in it? The
you
dog.
know-
I was just about to ask the scientist. or-
Thank you, Jesse. I don't recall, to be totally honest. But this leads me to a good question: is what is everybody's favorite Back to the Future movie, and why is it Part 1? Go, David.
Actually, I still really like 2. I like the reason that I like 2 is because you get to see the future and like the interpretation of what the future will be, and I always thought that was interesting, but also because they really kind of show you what time travel is like, just because you get to see events from the first movie, but from a different angle. And like that's what time travel will be like. It's not just you go back in time and everything's great. It's like, no, you are there. You have to avoid yourself, and things that you do will have an immediate consequence and all that.
Well, okay. So one question is, what if you went back in time and then with the full intention of going back in time again, like you knew that was going to happen, so it's okay if you go back in time and meet yourself, like. What would happen?
You still create a time paradox, which will destroy the very fabric of nature and completely obliterate the space-time continuum. Or the shock of seeing your older self will just cause you to pass out.
And then...
This is why we should only use time travel to go back and kill Hitler.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's really the only good applicable use of time travel. Now, oh shit, what was I going to say? I had a whole funny bit here. No, not a funny bit. No, you know what I don't like about Back to the Future 2 and 3 is my main beef with the movie is they just throw in all this random shit that wasn't in the first one and kind of force it into memes, or force it into like things like the whole Michael J. Fox hates being called chicken bit. Like that's not in the first one. Like it just shows up in the second one, and they treat it like it's this well-established thing. Like, oh yeah, you always hated being called chicken. You're like, what? No, that never happened. Like, what is this?
Well, I think that's just because they made the first movie and then didn't intend to make a sequel, and then they decided to make a sequel. That is one thing that always bugged me about Back to the Future 3 when all of a sudden Doc loves Jules Verne. Like, where did this come from?
Yeah, that one is a little bit more understandable, I guess, but because like in 2 and 3, they have him get called chicken so many goddamn times, and it's such an issue, and it's like that, and that never happened in 1. Like in 2, I think it gets called chicken like 8 times, and in 3, I think it happens like 16 more times. I think it gets called chicken like 24 times over the 2 movies. That's not a right number.
Well, he's in the 50s mostly, and they don't talk like that. They have different words.
Well, no, but I still feel like it's been a long time since I've seen him, but I feel like in the first one, they make a point to like show him trying to build up his courage and everything. And then, yeah, because I feel like they bring it up in the first movie, especially because he was supposed to go on the trip. And when Biff wrecks the car, he gets really upset about it.
So in the first movie, they never call him chicken. They do. The kind of point of the first movie is about, you should believe in yourself and be okay with putting yourself out there. Like he realizes that, and it's not really the whole point of the first movie, but he goes back in time and realizes his dad had the exact same attitude. Like his dad writes, but he thinks nobody's going to think he's good, so he's afraid to share it with people. And it's the same story with him and his band at the very beginning of the movie. He's afraid to send his demo tape out there, he's afraid. I think he was afraid to even audition for the band, if I remember this right. But nobody calls him chicken, and he doesn't get pissed about it. He's always kind of like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just a continuation of his character. The whole point of the first movie is for him to get confidence, and then the second and third is when people try to push him down. It's like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe the overarching meta-narrative of Back to the Future, which has nothing to do with Back to the Future 2 and 3 on the NES.
I'm done talking about this game. Let's not talk about the movie.
Let's move on.
How about the fact that Crispin Glover was not in Back to the Future 2 and 3, so they cast somebody that looks like him and put prosthetics on his face, and then Crispin Glover filed a lawsuit, and you're not allowed to do that anymore. Interesting thing.
That's crazy.
I knew that he was replaced. I didn't realize that there was a lawsuit against it.
Yeah,
that's kind of insane. I knew that's why they kill him in the movie. Spoilers for a 32-year-old movie at this point.
Yeah, Crispin Glover basically created likeness rights. Like we can all thank him for that.
That's awesome.
So anyways, let's go and move on.
Game 3.
So, the trivia for this game, I have two pieces of trivia. I will share both if you feel that you need them. The first piece of trivia, one of the unlockable characters in this game is the main character's father, who was the star of a 1982 arcade game. So do you guys want the second trivia, or do you feeling confident in your answers?
It's not going to help me. Let's be honest.
All right, let's see some answers then. So John Regan says time penis, which is sadly incorrect. Jesse says Mr. Driller, which we will give credit for. This is Mr. Driller Drill Spirits.
Oh, cool.
I don't know Mr. Drill travel through time. Oh, no, wait. It's anything to do with time. I guess maybe it's just timed.
So the reason that I went with this is because the whole point of the game is it's a puzzle game where you're drilling into the earth. So you have to keep collecting air tanks so that you don't run out of breath. So basically the entire game is like one giant time attack mode, because you're constantly watching the air gauge and constantly counting down how long you can stay underground.
Yeah, I haven't played this Mr. Driller, but I've played Mr. Driller games in the past. Is it pretty much like that, I guess? Or
Yeah. This was a launch game for the DS, and there's 6 total characters. And the thing that I really liked about it is because it uses both screens, you kind of have this huge playing field to go through. But the game was super, super fun. There were a couple different modes. There was like your basic puzzle mode. There was like an actual time attack mode. So aside from the air tanks, you had a clock you were trying to race. And then there was one called, I think it was like pressure driller or robot driller, something like that, where there's a gigantic robot chasing after you. So as you're drilling, you're trying to collect power-ups that you can shoot back to damage the robot,
that's cool. I think I remember that.
which was
Maybe I did play this.
It was super intense and super fun.
Yeah, Mr. Driller, those games are really fun puzzlers. They can be really difficult, but once you get into a pace and understand what you're supposed to be doing and trying to get into those nooks to like hide from the avalanches you cause and stuff, like that game gets really hectic real quick if you start making bad choices.
And that's one of the things that I love about it is it's such a weird puzzle game because it's not like matching. It's not you're just basically tunneling, but all the colored blocks are around you, so you can make the formations. And once you kind of get into that groove and you're just carving this perfect path lower and lower and lower, it gets very zen-like. I also really liked the characters because there was the main character, Mr. Driller. There was it was either his sister or his girlfriend. There was his dog. John's giving me a very strange look. It was a female character, and off the top of my head, I can't remember if there was relation or if it was just like girlfriend. There was a dog, there was a robot, and then you can also get Taizo Hori, his father, the star of Dig Dug.
Oh, neato. I was wondering why you only named Mr. Drill and none of the other characters. Like, and then you got to Taizo Hori, but there's always like, what's the dog's name?
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. It was the other character was his older brother, and it was his friend. So there was Mr. Driller. There was his brother Ataru. There was his friend Anna. There was a robot Hollinger. There was Taizo, his dad, and then Poochie, the dog.
Poochie. And you have to keep talking about him even when he's not on screen.
Like,
Otherwise,
Poochie?
everyone says, "Where's Poochie?" But I remember when I unlocked, because I'm pretty sure Dig Dug is like the last character you unlock. And I remember when I got him, like my mind was blown because it's such a weird random connection that they would just reference this old Namco arcade game. Mr. Driller is made by Namco as well, so it makes sense. But as I was looking for trivia and I was looking this up, apparently it goes even deeper than that. So Taizo Hori is Mr. Driller's father. He's the star of Dig Dug, and also he is the ex-husband of Kissy Masuyo, who is the heroine of a Namco arcade game called Baraduke. So there's 3 completely separate Namco games that are all connected through family somehow.
Neato.
Wow, that was quite a dig.
Oh,
I dug it.
Ugh.
But yeah, it's a super fun puzzle game, and I don't know, something about the weird like world building connection really stuck out to me. But if you can track it down, it's definitely worth playing. John, DS games run on the 3DS.
Oh, they do? Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
should
know
definitely be playing Mr. Driller.
that.
I like how you now have a backlog of about 50 games because of this show.
When we covered the shovelware, I have so much. I have a huge
Oh,
backlog
God,
of DS
that's
games.
true,
to
yeah.
get through. I gotta play some Cory in the House on our new GTT Duds.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
look
god.
forward to that.
Yeah.
So
Patreon
yeah, that's all I
exclusive.
have on Mr. Driller Drill Spirits.
Mi-
Unless somebody wants to add anything else, we should move on.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Game 4.
All right. This game was developed by two students at the University of Washington. They started developing it as sophomores, and back then it was a tower defense game, which its final product is not a tower defense game. Awesome.
Hmm.
Just quick, by the way, that last song is called Double Fucking Rainbow. So that's fun.
You said double fucking rainbow?
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel even more confident in my answer now.
Wonderful.
I do too, actually.
All right, let's see. Johnny says Crispin Glover is a pretty cool guy. That's not wrong. And Prince of Persia: Sands of Time from David. That is incorrect. Sorry guys.
Ah.
It is a Risk of Rain.
Risk of Rain.
We don't have a sound for like.
Everybody losing.
Yeah, I thought.
That John usually has the game over sound.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
That's why I was
Game
awfully silent
over.
for a second because I was waiting for some sort of sound cue.
This is all I got.
Hot take.
Great.
So, Risk of Rain.
Yeah, this game is. I love it. It's a PC game. Well, I think it's on a bunch of other stuff too. Yeah, it's on PS4 and PS Vita. So it is multiplayer too, but it's mostly a single player game, and it's cool. It's sci-fi, and what it is the time element in the game is really cool. What it is the longer you play the game, the harder it gets. So like there's like this like time thing and algorithm deal that we're like so like every 5 minutes like it ticks up and then more creatures start spawning or different types of creatures start spawning. Sometimes boss creatures will just spawn out of nowhere. You got as you kill enemies you get gold and experience so you can level your dude up and buy things that you find on the in the stage. And so you're kind of thinking is like, do I want to just get through this or do I want to farm a bunch of stuff to get really powerful? So it's a tricky thing, and the graphics are really cool. It's like a sprite, very sprite based. It's one of those indie games that tries to capture the retro style, but also add something new to it, which I think is like a good mix, because anyone can make a Mario game,
No, well, Jesse, they
Anyone.
can't because
Yeah.
they tend to get sued when that happens.
Well, there's Mario Maker. I mean, come on, guys. But so, like, also with this game, like when you first play it, there's just one character. But after that, you unlock more characters, and they all have different abilities and stuff. And so some of the characters are good with long-range weapons. Some characters are melee, so you have to fight differently, and depending on how you play it. And it's always kind of different. The setup, it's kind of like I guess a roguelite. I'm not sure. I don't want to upset Johnny because he might get upset with me calling something a roguelike that's not a roguelike.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games. When you die, game over. So you got to watch your health and stuff and level up, and it's a real cool game. It's usually on sale on Steam a lot. It's
No, it
not
sounds
very
really cool.
expensive. It's probably like about a $10 or $20 game. But it's worth it. Ever since I got it, I've played it. Every couple of months I go back to it. I think I've only actually beaten it once because it gets pretty hard. But the way I beat it was kind of cheap because you can find these drones and repair them. And so I had found like 10 drones, and these things do different things. Some of them are like firing missiles, some of them are healing me. So I just send my drones in to like fight the bosses and then hang back and heal myself. And it's kind of cheap, but I beat it. So fuck you, game. Haha.
Now, does it just use time that the game is played, or does it incorporate real world time? Like you say, you keep going back to it every couple months. Does that add on to it, or
Well, no. It's
put the game down for 6 weeks, come back, and just be decimated instantly?
no, because like you can't like save or anything. You play this game, and when you're playing it, that's how long you're going to be playing it is for, and
Okay.
so like the longer you play it, the harder it gets, and like it gets hard quick. Like you start noticing a difference, pretty quick. It escalates,
Nice.
and like it's one death, game over. So like, as soon as you die, you got to start over.
I like games that do that. I feel like not enough games do that anymore. Most games nowadays you get to restore from a save point or something and try again. I like the game so it's just like, nope, you're done now. Like that's it. Oh.
Yeah, like this game, like as soon as you spawn, you better be ready to start fighting stuff because these things start spawning right on top of you. It just gets harder, and but once you start getting more powerful, it's the bosses are only the thing you have to worry about because there's some pretty crazy bosses. The fucking lava world, that level is really hard, and because maybe Dark Soulsy, I don't know. It's not Dark Soulsy enough. I don't think. Like it's hard, and it does get difficulty, but like I don't know. Dark Souls is more of a like you learn your lesson kind of thing with you if you keep failing. Like you figure out, okay, around that corner there's going to be a skeleton with a battle axe, So now next time I go over there, this game is more of a there are too many fucking enemies on screen and I just can't kill them all, and now they're killing me, I'm dead.
So it's less of a trial and error and more of a fuck you.
Yeah, more of a, you better have something to handle this.
Well, cool.
But yeah, it's a I love it. It's a good game. It's pretty. The music is really cool.
No, I was looking it up, and yeah, it seems like that. It looks like pixel art, but it's not like specifically retro pixel art. It's just using pixel art as an art style, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Neat.
John?
Yeah, I don't really have a lot to add to it. I was looking this up on Wikipedia while we were talking, and I saw that it was released for Linux, so I'm pretty jazzed to buy this and play on one of my Linux machines.
John is officially on board.
Yep.
I forgot to mention it was on Linux.
Yeah.
So I did read that, and I was like, oh, I wonder if Johnny's played this on Linux. But now
See,
he will.
you should have led with that, and then John would have been engaged the entire conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. If you could bring up Linux, you should bring up Linux. That's how you keep me happy.
I'm sorry, Linux?
Did somebody say Linux? Push up my glasses.
So is that
That's
all
it.
of our games?
That is our games. I think it's about time to turn on the calculating computer.
All right.
Sweet.
Let's see here. Where did I put the computer?
Calculating computer activated. Beeps,
As John's trivia said, a diddling scandal.
boops. Scoring complete. This game's winner is Jesse Moore.
Hey!
Yeah, go Jesse.
Awesome. Only reason I won because John's not here.
No, you won because you did the best job, and you picked an awesome game with awesome music, and you got the most points.
Well, I can't argue that.
So, do you have a theme in mind for next week?
Well, I feel like, it's the weather is starting to warm up, and I don't know if you've noticed, there's a couple big movies out now, and that'll be coming out soon. So what about movie games?
Ooh, damn it. I just used
So-
one. Not a good one, though, but...
Games based on movies or games about making movies?
I mean, I guess you could do both if you really want to use Beautiful Joe that bad.
What about games that got made into movies? Or do they have to be more based on the movie?
John, we've already used Super Mario Brothers. You can't bring it back.
What about a game that got turned into a movie that got turned back into a game? Which there's
Sure.
Okay, cool. So movie games. Awesome
Yeah.
theme.
No, movie games.
We all know what John's going to pick now.
All right. Well,
God, now I'm worried. Did that have a soundtrack?
Is
I'm
there
just
a Ready
wondering about-
Player One game yet?
I was just wondering about the game, the movie, The Game, if that had a soundtrack, and if you pick
Oh,
it. So,
fuck.
God.
We'll see what happens. So, David, do you want to bring this thing home?
Yeah, I was just about to see if anybody else wanted to, but I will be more than happy to bring this home. Starting off by saying, Yeah, I will be happy to. I forgot to look up our Patreon super fan tier backers. John, why don't you tell everybody about our Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/GameThatTune.
So if you visit patreon.com/GameThatTune, you can get access to fun exclusives that we put up every once in a while. We have a fairly recent episode of GTT Gems up there. We cover music from games of 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't know why I said that in that order. That's not right. And some games from today. The most recent episode covers April. At some point, we're going to have to make one for May. I think this is something we're going to try to start doing monthly. And if you pledge, you just have to pledge $5 a month or more to get access to that. And if you hit our superfan tier producer, you get you get thanked on the show. Wow, this is gonna be fucking terrible. I'm so sorry, John. So a special thank you to our superfan tier producers, Alex Messenger and Lance Revere. You guys are pretty kick-ass. And in addition to patreon.com/GameThatTune, you should go to GameThatTune.com, and we'll have links to all our things on there, including YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, our fairly new Discord, which is pretty fun. We've got some bot integration with our Discord, so while we're streaming, you can get access to, you can see like the comments from YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook in real time. You see them at the same time as we do. You don't have to wait for them to pop up on the videos you're watching, so that's kind of cool. And there's an audio stream simulcast in there, so you can pull up your Discord like on your phone at work or something like that and kind of listen on the sly. What else is there, David?
Also, make sure to check out youtube.com/GameThatTune for GTT Radio, our 24/7 live stream video game radio service, which the Patreon helps pay for and is basically run by John. So thank you, John, for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
And if you want to thank John himself, you can DM him at Twitter. What is your handle, John?
At JPReganJR.
And if you want to chat with the rest of us, you can get me on Twitter at DFDFleming. You can get John Harrington at JGangsta187. You can always send us those requests, slide into our DMs at GameThatTune, or you can talk to tonight's winner, Jesse Moore, on Twitter at
Sega_legend.
And you are the winner. You got the bonus tunes. Jesse, what are you taking us out with?
Well, I didn't expect to win, so I didn't pick any bonus tunes. So I'm going to use my powers to pick David's bonus tunes.
Since I won last week, I didn't think I would need a bonus tune.
Right.
So I didn't
okay, so
use it.
Johnny's
So, John,
bonus tunes.
This is a fucking mess. It's a good thing I picked bonus tunes about a minute ago.
Yes.
When I looked at the folder and realized nobody had bonus tunes. So, tonight we are going out with one of my favorite tracks from a game featuring time travel. This is You Can Do Anything, aka Toot Toot Sonic Warrior from Sonic the Hedgehog CD.
Nice.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
You can go again. Don't fall behind. Say don't be late. Destination heaven. Stay alive. Now shoot me. We're going to have fun. Say, blast off. Excalibur. Just drop that bar. What do you mean? Give and take. Going home. Time zone. Check it out, eh? Live alone. Leather legs. Getting in place. What do you get? Say, fat jet. Zoom room. Cosmic zoom. That's up, Jay. It's Sonic Boom. Sonic Warrior. Sonic Warrior.
You are hit me out of 10. You got the power to save the land.
Take a little chance, slip on through. You got smart no matter what you do. You gotta do for you. Sonic Warrior, Sonic Warrior.
The power is in your mind to save the planet, to conquer time. Choo-choo Sonic Warrior, beat the system time. Choo-choo Sonic Warrior, braver in your mind. Nothing can survive the way you stay like a super try. You can do anything. Choo-choo Sonic Warrior, always takes a chance. Choo-choo Sonic Warrior, never sit they can't. Nothing can survive the way you stay like a super try. You can do anything.
Time Splitters is copyright Free Radical Design and Eidos 2000. Back to the Future 2 and 3 is copyright LJN Toys Limited. I missed the date on that point. Mr. Driller Drill Spirits is copyright Namco Limited 2004. Risk of Rain is copyright Chucklefish Limited 2013. Sorry, gonna do this real quick.
Wow. Best episode yet. God. Man, we
Yeah, but you know what? Okay. I actually know how to do this with a clean break. So we're just going to do this all over again. Sorry about this, whoever ends up editing.
me.
Time Splitters is copyright Free Radical Design and Eidos 2000. Back to the Future 2 and 3 is copyright LJN Toys Limited 1990. Mr. Driller Drill Spirits is copyright Namco Limited 2004. Risk of Rain is copyright Chucklefish Limited 2013.